Okay, hi, it's Mike Boyarzin, and many years ago, I started working on a family tree that was based on one that Jeri's family had done back in the day before ancestry.com, and that one went back to 1400. But it was primarily concerned in connecting the family to the American Revolution, where they found, I believe, four members of the family had served there. Um, and Along the way, I went back to 206 AD to a barbarian king, Dagobert. And at the speed I was going with Ancestry, I thought for sure I was going to have a Da Vinci Code type thing where we went right back to Jesus or something. But From there, along the way to that point, there were many threads of the family. Charlemagne, Judith of Bavaria, who was also the Empress of the Holy Roman Empire, like Charlemagne. But the the One of the founders of the Huguenot movement, who was the first person they killed when they went after the Huguenots. It's funny, one of Jeri's other family lines, I believe the Medici, were the ones that did in the Huguenot side. But anyhow, I kept going forward, and other type royals and other famous type people into the American Revolution, and then into just then following the regular family tree, and along with other family members, two family members at Gettysburg, Malin and Schaefer. Malin survived, and Schaefer did not. Schaefer was the most difficult one we all worked on. It's very difficult because he didn't put down any family members on his enlistment papers. But anyhow, from there, we went to World War II. Several, Jerry's dad and other family members were in there. And the whole time, right under my nose, I'm doing all this stuff, and right under our noses is the biggest thing in human history. Jeri's dad, Gus, was a method engineer at Grumman Aerospace, along with her Uncle George, who was also on the Lunar lander program with Gus, his brother. And that's what they were on, the LEM, the so-called LEM. Anyhow, I decided I'd put together a scrapbook and a Facebook page. But I'm working on the scrapbook, and as you can see on the cover here, it's a copy of the famous DVD that came out a few years ago. Somehow NASA came up with 65 millimeter, 11,000 hours of 65 millimeter film on the space program, on the actual Apollo 11 mission specifically. And it starts with the gigantic rocket being pulled down towards the launch pad. And anyhow, that's on the cover. And then we go inside. I've got the astronauts that were on the mission. I've got actual patches here. Looks a little foggy there. I don't know why. Okay. Anyhow, Jeri's, mom, Marilyn, gave me these patches here. These are official patches of Apollo 13 and Apollo 12. Jeri's sister Stacy has Apollo 11 and a few others. And then I got a commemorative Grumman's patch here. She gave me one of the anniversaries of the mission. And then over here is a brochure. Okay? And anyhow, that's why it's coming in foggy. I had the protective sheet over it. Yeah, I'm a little spaced out here. A little too much time at home. Anyhow, there's a picture of the moon Jeri took, the famous red moon. We sat there in the backyard drinking coffee, and she nonchalantly was taking pictures as the moon changed phases. You'll see later in this book. and they were the best pictures that went up on Facebook, even among her professional photography friends. We were just sitting there, and she wasn't even paying attention, and she got the best shots. And here's some. This one's from the Cradle of Aviation Museum on Long Island, and so it's this. This is the Apollo capsule. Here's the actual LEM. This is also the LEM, and here's another capsule. It's a pretty good museum. If you can't get down to the Smithsonian, Washington, check this one out. Now, here's one. I have to go through all these names here to make sure Gus is listed there, as well as her Uncle George. It's kind of hard resolution to blow up, but I'm working on that. And here's some other stuff that I got from the museum. Here they all working on it. And here's some more stuff. And then a few years ago, NASA, they had this program where you could sign up for tickets to their for a trip to Mars with NASA's rover. And so we got our tickets here, and we were embarking July 2020. My Uncle Gary out in California got a big kick out. He always called up, have you left yet? Here's the actual red moon eclipse that Jeri photographed. There's a few more that I didn't put in there just because of space. That's the final look of the picture right there. Okay, and skipped a few things here. Here's some first day covers I have. There's President Kennedy, who guaranteed that we would send a man to the moon and bring him back, people to the moon, and bring them back alive by the end of the decade. And he was assassinated, but the goal was carried out. He made the claim in '62, I believe, and in '69 they landed. Here's John Glenn, personal hero of mine, and wish he had run for he won the. Got to run for president, but he didn't. And then here's a first cover of the landing. Okay, and let's go to the next page. Now here's family pictures. There's Gus in Maryland, and when Gus first met me, he liked me because I had my short punk hardcore haircut, and it was just as short as his hair. His hair's a little long in this picture, but at that time, here it is, a little short. Yep, and here we are. I think that's Brooklyn Law School. I'm not sure. That's Gus and Jeri's mom, Marilyn. There's Jeri in the middle. That's me in the back, my Yankee cap. And then here's Jeri's family when they were all young. Marilyn on the left. There's Jeri. And then next to Jeri is Jeri's sister, Stacy. And there's Gus, the part of the moon program. Actual person that was on the moon program. And then here's our families together at the wedding. And there's Gus. And then here's Jeri, a famous picture of Jeri and Gus. And Gus was known for his laugh. And there it is, full blast, his laugh. And then, let me just tell a funny story. Back in around the time of this picture, the Apollo 13 mishap happened out there, as they were approaching the moon. And the only way back was to use the LEM. The lunar lander. The capsule was blown out. So the whole country and the whole world was like in suspense over would they get back alive, or would they land and they'd all be deceased. And Gus was in with the program and in there with his sleeves rolled up, and with the LEM bringing back the Apollo 11, the Apollo 13 capsule, and Jeri and Stacy, they went up to him and they said, Dad, is it going to work? And he hugged them and said, it was never tested for this use, but it's going to work. And it did. Huh. Anyhow, then here's and I threw some science fiction stuff in there. This is the monster show at the Peabody Essex Museum by with the memorabilia from the famous heavy metal guitarist. I forgot his name. Sorry. And then here, just going back a few thousand years to the Mayans with an original observatory. Okay. Anyhow, that's the story, and I've got more pictures on the way from the NASA website. Why I didn't load them down originally, I don't know, which is the pictures of them actually on the moon. And the funny story there is, other than the picture of the TV image of Neil Armstrong coming down the ladder, Buzz Aldrin was so excited he forgot to take a picture of Neil Armstrong on the moon. And so everyone says there's no picture of Neil Armstrong on the moon, but there is. First of all, there is Buzz and the flag. That's the famous MTV picture. I've ordered that. I downloaded that. It's going to be sent to me. And then the other one, there is an actual picture of Neil Armstrong, and it's in the reflector shield of Buzz Aldrin's helmet that Neil Armstrong took the picture, and in the picture you see his reflection in Buzz Aldrin's helmet shield. Anyhow, fun fact, and take care.